all of the super inspiring words that you've all shared. So bear with me and working through that. So as Lucy mentioned, so I'm from the ACLU of Southern California, based in LA. I work specifically with a project focused on LGBTQ, gender equity, and reproductive justice issues. And I wanted to give a moment to really recognize what that means, and also to recognize that those are three very distinct issues, right? Unfortunately, things tend to get lumped in, right? When you have so much work, it's like, all right, what makes sense to kind of collapse? What can we kind of do and hit all at the same time? But I do think that we need to take a moment where we can and really recognize how important each of those individually, those separate issues, how important they are. And as it is, those issues tend to get lumped into, the term women's issues, right? But obviously, these issues are not just applicable for women. They are applicable for all of us. We all need to be in this fight together to make sure that LGBTQ communities, that gender nonconforming and gender non-binary communities, and reproductive justice and access to reproductive health care can be achieved, right? So thank you for letting me take that moment. So basically, what are we doing? I work as a community organizer and also a policy advocate with the ACLU. I work alongside my attorney cohort, doing litigation advocacy as well, and we're doing a lot of work. Specifically with our project, we are not only under this new political reality, doing work to push back and to resist against all of the threats that are coming to our communities, focusing on these issues. But we're also still trying to maintain the vision and pose the work that we're doing and the work that all of California is doing as a model for the rest of the nation. Specifically looking at issues of inclusivity and reproductive health care. California is doing really well, right? We definitely have our problems and we need to do better in some areas. But in terms of the rest of the country, we are doing really well. And we're seen as a leader, and we need to continue doing that. So the ACLU is very committed to continuing that work. So there are a number of areas within these separate issue areas that we're doing this work on. So we're fighting aggressively against the efforts to expand religious views and the right to use religion as a discriminatory practice, particularly against LGBTQ communities, against trans people, and against women in general when we're talking about access to reproductive health care. We're strongly fighting that. We're working alongside our partners, and I'm so glad to see that we have one of our partners, a representative from one of our partners here, Planned Parenthood, which we're in the button, can't really see. We are working alongside Planned Parenthood, strongly fighting back against the defunding. There was actually an action in LA yesterday talking about ACA repeal and defunding of Planned Parenthood more broadly. And we know that in the last year alone, Planned Parenthood in California has seen 750,000 people. And that's for services focusing on reproductive health care. So you can imagine, people come to Planned Parenthood outside of issues for reproductive health care, right? It's the only provider for some people for general comprehensive health care, so even more than that. That is a great deal of people who are going to be affected if Planned Parenthood is defunded. And again, we're also working alongside partners. There's a great coalition called Fight for Our Health, if any of you want to get involved. We're working very aggressively to push back on ACA repeal. What ACA repeal means in terms of reproductive justice, in terms of LGBTQ and gender issues. We know that nearly 4 million Californians, would lose insurance and coverage. That would increase the cost of preventive services, including birth control, annual GYN exams, any breastfeeding and lactation support, and even domestic violence screening. So that is huge, and that would affect all of us. And that's just to name a few. There are many other issues, right, that would be affected if we lose the ACA. We're also fighting very hard to resist any sort of discrimination that is based on gender and gender identity, and in particular, the attack on trans people in our community. We're very dedicated to that, and we hope that you are as well. So those are the things that we're fighting, that we're resisting, but there have been some victories, and I feel it's important to celebrate these victories as they come, to really keep us going and keep morale high. We know that as of January of last year, California now has the most progressive, comprehensive sex ed law in the country. We're seen as a leader for that. We know that now middle school students and high school students in public school systems of California, all throughout the state, are now to receive comprehensive, in the true sense of the word, comprehensive sex ed. So that is huge. And an issue that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been working on sex ed and teen pregnancy prevention for all of my career. So very exciting for California to have that. We're also excited about, I don't know if, I'm assuming some of you have heard, but for those who haven't, the EEOC did an investigation into major Hollywood studios and found that, in fact, yes, there is bias against women directors and women in film. So that came out, and my supervisor, actually Melissa Goodman, but our organization in general had a huge hand in the advocacy for that. So we're very excited about the gains that have been made in those areas so far. We're excited to see about what changes might come, and are still very committed to advocating throughout the way. That said, and I actually like to point back to what Kim was saying, and these ideas of unity, right, and resistance, and particularly looking at intersectionality, right? All of us here in this room come from very different cultures. There's a lot of diversity here in terms of, I'm assuming, in terms of class, gender identity. There are a lot of differences that we can celebrate, and that should be celebrated. I hate the word tolerate. That's such a sort of a dog whistle type of word to me. But, you know, these are differences that we need to recognize for what they are and to celebrate. Perhaps more importantly, we need to focus on the areas where we can unify. Not just looking at these differences, but how are we the same? What are these common threads, right? And thinking about this issue, this idea of intersectionality is so crucial to organizing work, to advocacy work, and particularly the ACLU and our office is really invested in this idea of intersectionality in all of our issue areas. And I'd like to say on a personal note, I am Black and Latina from the inner city of Detroit. I went to Ivy League school in New York, so I know something about intersectionality and integration personally, but it is so huge when we're talking about the work that we're all doing. You know, we need to look at the ways in which we are the same. We need to look at how reproductive justice and justice for women is justice for immigrants, is justice for trans and LGBTQ people. What are the ways in which we can come together? How can we assist each other and lend support in being able to get these actions done on all fronts? Because, baby, we're running out of time, number one, and there are so many attacks happening simultaneously that we will not win unless we unify, point blank, period. So I'm very looking forward to the ways in which we can come together, to being able to work with, hopefully, some of you in the future, and lending ideas for how you can advocate in your communities. And one simple way that I'd like to sort of plug, so some of you may know, the ACLU has this app. It is a free app available through Google Play and the Apple Store. You can download it right now if you like, or later. And this is an app, it's called Mobile Justice. It's focusing on California. It offers you information about your rights, so you can tell other people, learn more. Educate yourselves about what your rights are so that you can educate other people. That's one huge way that you can help. In addition, it also has a function that if you see any law enforcement officials doing anything that you feel is unjust or outright violent, it is your right to be able to record what's happening, to advocate for other people, and to record it, and it gets sent directly to the ACLU. Now, I go into classes, every tabling event, anywhere I go, I give people this card, I tell them what it's about. And especially with students, you might have some young people who say, oh, okay, well, what is that really going to do, right? Does it really matter if I pull up my phone and just record something real quick? Like, do you guys even check? I can tell you for sure, last year we had over 700 of these recordings that we followed up on because there was some illegal practice happening and some rights were being violated. So it is very important, and that is, again, just a quick and easy way that you can advocate for not only yourselves, but your community. So I implore you to download that. And if anyone does have any other, if you'd like to learn more ways that you can be involved, feel free to contact us. We are more than willing to help get you to where you need to be, connect you to other people, and to come together and do the work. Thank you.